I'd come on and do our first vlog with you this morning. I have recently tested positive for COVID-19, the first time in 2 years that we've had anything in this household at all. So I thought, no symptoms or issues, I'd come on and do a little chat while we can't go out and about, just about what we love about these, which is our Merlin memberships. So we have been membership holders now for nearly 3 years. Obviously 2 years have been mostly took up with COVID and restrictions and things, which still hasn't affected us using them or affected us loving them so much. Obviously we only use the 2, but we do have 4 memberships for all of us. So we do have memberships for the kids as well. And as you can see, we like collecting all of our pins from what we've been up to. It shows you quite a lot of what we've been up to with them, and on Dan's as well. The kids also do have their lanyards, but they obviously don't carry their passes because they are expensive to replace, so we don't let them have them. So to start with, I thought I'd just go through, I have written some bits down, so if I am looking down, that is why, just so I can have a look at what I've said so far. So we are on the pay monthly membership, which I think is the cheaper option for us. We don't pay out the big instalment at first, so it makes it more affordable, and the cost of our monthly fee is cheaper than us going to any of the resorts just for one visit a month. So to say that we could go somewhere on the Saturday and then go somewhere on the Sunday and then do the same the following week, that is a big saving for us, making this a lot more beneficial to us to do. But there's also a lot of other benefits as well within the parks. So within the parks we get discount on food and on anything we buy. We have also got discounts for the Merlin Holiday Club to stay in some of their hotels, which we have done. We did a map event at Alton Towers Water Park and we stayed the night. So we did use the event for that, but then since COVID we've not stayed in any other hotels since. But we are planning to do some trips down to Chesington, and because we're Nottinghamshire based, that probably will include a stay over. So that's something that we've got to look forward to this year, hopefully. Other things that we also use the passes for, at welcome breaks and things like that, you can get discounts at them, and also you can get an AA discount as well, which we've recently discovered whilst we was at Blackpool, trying to work out what discounts we had within the Blackpool Tower. We discovered that you could get discount off our AA, so we've sorted that out, and now we've had discount from Merlin passes through our AA membership as well. We do try and make things more affordable for ourselves, so we don't always buy food in the parks. We do take snacks and things with us, and if we arrive early we tend to have breakfast before we go in the car. So we'll take like croissants and things like that in the car, juice boxes just to have before we go in. So we leave quite early to get to most parks, and then we have our breakfast while waiting in the car park for opening time, which is handy. And then we do take some crisps and things in our bags and maybe a drink, but we do use the member cup holders with the blue cups, which we can go back and take with us. So we do like to use those as well. Many times we have actually took my niece and nephew with us to Alton Towers especially. That is our closest park, is Alton Towers, so we will talk about them a lot and we'll probably visit them most over the next year. Alton Towers, I think we've already got 2 if not 3 visits planned for Alton Towers, whereas other parks we've only got like 1 or 2 visits that we're looking at. But Alton Towers is our main reason for getting the passes in the first place, and the children just love it, they do. Annie is, I think we measured her recently, she's like 135 centimetres, so she's just short of on all of the big rides, which she's not happy about. And Jacob is 125 5 centimetres, I think. So he is just short of going on some of them as well, but he can now go on Wicker Man, which he's not been on yet. So I think he'll be very happy when he realises that he can go on this year on the Wicker Man, which he has been waiting to do, but I honestly don't think he'll like it. He doesn't really like fast rides, but we'll have to wait and see. He does love the runaway train, so because it looks like the runaway train, I think that's why he wants to go on it so much. So we use the friends and family tickets to take my niece and nephew with us, which gives us a discount entry. I think the last time I did it, I paid £25 for my nephew to come with us, which is a nice little treat for them to join us. Normally for their birthday present, we'll say, oh, you can come with us for the day, and we pay his entry and then pay for all of his bits while he's there. So as I just said, our local park is Alton Towers. We are Nottinghamshire based. Alton Towers is in Staffordshire, so it's about an hour and a half drive. If that, it's quite good. We do know the route quite well, so we don't really need to use our sat navs and things like that. So we've been to Alton Towers, we've done on Stanton Sea Life, we've done Legoland Windsor last year, and Thorpe Park, Warwick Castle. And then at Blackpool, we do Sea Life at Blackpool quite often. The children love going to see Phoenix when we're in the area. We have friends that we go and visit quite often up there, and they have a B&B, so it's quite reasonable for us to go there quite often. So we go to see Phoenix, their sea turtle, which Annie and Jacob love seeing Phoenix every year, and how much she's changed, which I just recently learned that using our membership, we can actually go and feed Phoenix. So I think that might be something that we do for one of Annie's treats throughout the year. We've got 2 more trips planned to Blackpool. Our other love in Blackpool is the Blackpool Tower. We love the ballroom. Annie and Jacob has always loved Strictly Come Dancing, so we always go there and watch all of the people dance. They love to see the atmosphere and the changing over of the organs and things like that. They've recently had it redone, so our last 2 visits we weren't able to go in, but we are very looking forward to going back in the summer and being able to see it. The other thing we love is the circus at the Blackpool Tower. It is amazing, and the surprise at the end, really was not expecting what happened. We have had one instance in the circus though where that hasn't happened, which due to a technical fault, but you wouldn't have known that there was something missing other than the fact that we had been there before, so we had known what was going to happen and it didn't happen. So I won't spoil it for you because it is something that I didn't expect to happen. So for this year, as I've just said, our first visit to a Merlin attraction is going to be Alton Towers, although we have already done some Blackpool ones, but that is not a theme park. So our theme park first one is Alton Towers, which is in the next couple of weeks. We was meant to be going next weekend, but due to Annie is a brownie and they had an event that she'd like to join in, so we have changed our plans so that she can join and do her brownie event instead. So we're going to go the following weekend to Alton Towers instead, which now with me having COVID is probably the best thing to happen right now, just in case any of the rest of the family get it whilst I'm off poorly. We've also got Chessington booked for one of the bank holiday weekends. I think it is Easter Sunday. We are going to Chessington. We've also spoken about going to Sea Life at Birmingham. I have done it when Annie was a baby, but I haven't been back since, so it would be nice to go back there. That was way before we was Merlin pass holders as well. And also there are quite a lot of sea turtles in their places. We learnt this when we went to Stanton. We thought that Phoenix was the only sea turtle that Sea Life had, but there isn't. Stanton had a sea turtle, and also Weymouth have got sea turtles as well. And knowing how much Annie and Jacob love them, we would like to go down to Weymouth to have a look and see what their sea turtles are like as well. As I've also mentioned, we learnt about the animal feeding things that you can do, and I'm pretty sure at Weymouth there is a Meet the Penguins experience or something along those lines, and at Chessington, you can feed the giraffes, which that is something I would really enjoy doing. And you're on like a high level, and you're given lots of like branches and things, and they come right up to your face, so you're like face to face with the giraffe, which just sounds amazing. So that would be something that we would look at doing. We have also done quite a lot of events at some of the parks. So our first Merlin experience was at Warwick Castle, and I'll show you the pin we got. We do collect the pins, which means I don't really wear my lanyard that much now, but because of how many pins are on it, it does get quite heavy. So that pin is from Warwick Castle. That's my one. So I'm the red rose, and Dan is the white rose. And that is one of their themes that they have, which is a jousting event. And it's like a role play, and you get to join in, and they get the crowd going, shouting red rose, white rose. And it's just really good event. When we went, we did have bad weather actually, but it did not dampen the experience at all. The actors and riders and horses carried on as if nothing had happened. You wouldn't have known it was raining because we was all under the cover as well, which is really good. At Alton Towers, we've done Scarefest on numerous occasions. We have done the Oktoberfest. We did Mardi Gras this year, which was really nice. Something a bit different. Oktoberfest this year was actually our first Oktoberfest as well. And we also love the fireworks. We didn't do fireworks this year, and I'll explain that in a little bit, why in a little bit. But Scarefest is one of the favourites for Annie and Jacob. We don't tend to do the scare mazes. We've asked them if they want to do the what was it, the darkest depths was the children's one, I think, one year. And I think Annie is just in the age group category for that, and I asked her if she wanted to do it, but she wasn't keen. So we didn't push on that one. And we just carry on just the atmosphere and seeing some of the characters roaming around. That's the kind of thing that they enjoy, and seeing other people roam around. They like to dress up themselves as well, which is nice. And we have got a couple of the Scarefest pins. So that was our first Scarefest as members in 2019, and then that was 2020 on that one with a little alien. And I don't think I've got we did go last year, but I don't think I managed to find the pin, unfortunately. No, Dan hasn't got it either. But last year, the pin we did gain was, of course, this one from Gangster Granny, which we both ended up with a Gangster Granny. Look, we both got the same pin, which we don't tend to do. We tend to have different pins. I'll show you all my pins in a second. The other events that we've done, so we've done the White Rose, Red Rose, Scarefest, Mardi Gras, Oktoberfest. The majority of what we have done is at the Alton Towers Park, purely because of when we got the passes and the pandemic hitting. That is literally all we've had time or the ability to do, with being restricted to stay within our area. Unfortunately, because of that, we didn't get to go to Alton Towers for quite a big portion of the season when we was allowed to visit, because it's not in our area. We couldn't go. But we did make most of Blackpool when we went to Blackpool for our holiday. Okay, so I'll show you our lanyard. So, as I've said, one of our favourite places is Blackpool. So, we went to their century year, I think it was, and I got the Blackpool Tower pin, and I've also got the ballroom pin on mine. So I've got then 2 Scarefest pins, my Warwick Castle pin, my Oktoberfest pin, but this one, I don't think it'll be on this year, because that hurts. It does. When you get that in your chest by accident, it's not nice. My favourite ride is Nemesis. We went to Thorpe Park last year, and because it sounds like Love Island, I fancied an Islander badge, and Gangster Granny on mine. Let me show you Dan's one. So he again has got Scarefest and the monster one, the same as me. He's got the Wicker Man pin, and the only other one different is he's got the dungeon, the Blackpool dungeon. That is the only dungeon we've been in, and I've not been in it personally. Dan went on his own because obviously the children are far too young to do the dungeons. So he went by himself while me and the kids went around the sea life again to see Phoenix the turtle. They were more than happy as we carried on our day. I'll show you, let me just flip our passes around so you can't see any of our details. But these are how we hold our pass. So this is not the holder that the lanyard comes with, and we do wear our lanyard because when you are in the parks and you buy something, it is convenient for it to be on, because some of the cast members will see them and go, oh, we'll take your discount off. There's many occasions when we have not had them on and we have forgotten to get our discount, just because of the pure making sure you're as quick as possible getting out of the queue so it's not a big queue for anyone else. So we bought these separate off, I think I got them off eBay. So I've colour coded them. I'll flip one over so I can show you this one. So mine is pink, Dan's is the blue. It's very convenient for when they are in the bag and we're trying to look for one specific one. So that's why I've got them colour coded. Dan could wear the pink if he wants to, but I don't think he would like to. We've got them double-sided so that we carry the kids' passes. That's the pure reason to that. I don't want to ever be in the case of losing them, or the kids feeling like it's their fault that they've lost them, when really they're not really something that they should have on them. Even though they wear their lanyards, we've got, they did the Cuckoo Driving School at Alton Towers and they've got their own little driver's licence, which they're more than happy to carry around instead of their pass. And the double-sided does help getting in and out the gate so that we can scan them through as we go through, and it just works really well for us. And we have learnt with because we're on the premium membership, the barcode is at this end, whereas if it's on the annual pass, it goes this way. So as you go through, you have to hold your pass this way up, not this way, and it scans so much better. So with the children's heights, obviously I've said we went to Thorpe Park last year. This was an add-on to Jacob's birthday. Jacob's birthday was at Legoland, which we surprised him with whilst we was at Thorpe Park. So we went to Thorpe Park and said, oh, because it's too far away, we was going to stay the night. And then whilst we were staying the night, we gave him his one and only present that we took with us, which his birthday was for the day after, and told him that we was going to Legoland, which is where he wanted to go in the first place, which was a nice surprise for him. We've never done anything like that before, and he coped really well with it. So we went to Thorpe Park for the day, but now in hindsight I wish we'd have gone to Chessington, because we haven't done Chessington either. So we just went for Thorpe Park because I thought it's quite close to Legoland, and to where we were staying the night. But when we got there, it was quite quick realised that there wasn't a lot for especially Jacob to do, because at that point he was underneath the 1.2 centimetre line because he is quite short for his age. So he could not go on much at all. Annie is obviously that little bit taller, but I still think even with the height she's at, she would have struggled at Thorpe Park for a whole day, and it was very busy. It was, to say this was during the pandemic, it is by far the busiest park I've ever been in. The same for Legoland. It was a light net for Legoland. The Legoland the day after as well was extremely busy. It wasn't like it was a bank holiday weekend or anything, even though Jacob's birthday is at the end of August. I think the way his birthday fell was it was not like a bank holiday weekend that we went down for. But yeah, it was very busy. Kind of lightened us up to what Legoland is like. The same as Thorpe Park. So I think we have said definitely for the next couple of years we're going to wait for Jacob to grow before we go back to Thorpe Park again. And that is purely just so that he's a bit taller. We have booked to go to Chessington, so we'll see what our opinions are of that one. Because I think the London parks do seem to be a lot busier than obviously Alton Towers. But we do like how Alton Towers is set out because of all of the gardens and the space. I don't think it feels as busy as it is sometimes because of how much things are spread out, and obviously that is different with the parks down south. But not going in Chesington, I do know that they have I think they have a sea life and they have a zoo, so hopefully it's going to feel like Alton Towers, where it's all spread out, so it's not going to feel as busy. But obviously we'll have to see our vlogs from when we go down to what we feel like about that one, and whether our opinion is similar to the other ones down south in London. So obviously I'm a plus size member of the family. Dan is quite voluptuous as well in parts of his body, so I can't obviously ride on everything, but I do go on as much as I can, and I do quite enjoy wandering around and watching the children enjoy themselves, which is the main reason for us having the passes. So I wouldn't say that I don't get out what I could do from these memberships, but obviously I've been on many of the rides before I did get to the size I am, which I do hope to be able to ride them again soon, now that we can get out a lot more, and hopefully things will change and I'll be able to enjoy the rides with the children, which is my goal, is to be able to do that. Dan does give me little snippets of what he thinks each ride is like. Some of them he does find a bit tight, like Wicker Man and 13 particularly, which 13 is Annie's favourite ride. So luckily she can ride that now by herself. She is at the height now where she could go on it by herself. It just depends on how long the queues are to whether we feel that she is able to do that whilst we wait for her off the ride. But we get out a lot of, I go on quite a few rides. I go on Marauders Mayhem. I enjoy the river rapids and things like that. I go on the roundabouts and things with all of the little rides, which Annie and Jacob love to go on. I go on all of them. I call it the Squirrel Nutty because that's what I can remember when I was a child, but I think it's Ready, Set, Go, and Postman Pat and all of those. So I take most of the little rides, whereas Dan goes on all of the big ones with them. So we can take it in turns, so Dan can have a rest while I go on a few of them with them. But now they're getting so much better to going on by themselves, which is really good. Also, we do try and do the haunted house and things like that, but we've managed to get Annie to like them. But I know of being a child, I never liked them, so I do often sit out with Jacob because he's not too keen on going on things like that. But hopefully that might change soon. He might change his mind and start liking them. If you saw him as a baby, you would believe that you wouldn't believe he's going on any ride, because he used to scream on a theme park ride. So we have come quite far with Jacob. To be able to go to Alton Towers and have a good day is amazing. So also I thought we couldn't do a post about why we love Merlin without doing something about some of their bad points, because obviously everything has bad points, and to us, more recently I have had a few times when I'm like, well, that's not really very fair. Mainly during lockdown, and I know during lockdown everything couldn't be helped, but the first lockdown Merlin were amazing. They gave us, I think, so many months free, and suspended our payments, which obviously is a pay monthly thing. They didn't have to do that. They could have just made us pay for the duration, which they didn't. And then we did get, I think, 3 months where we didn't have to pay when the parks were open. So obviously that's very generous for them to do. But then when it come to the second lockdown, when you could go out within your local areas, that's brilliant if you live in the local areas of where the parks are. But in our area of Nottinghamshire, there are no Merlin attractions at all, and we had to pay, obviously, I think our payment a month is something like £49, which obviously isn't that much, but when you physically cannot, without breaking the regulations, go to any of those attractions, it's a bit unfair. But I understand that that's just the way they had to do it. The other thing we have recently not agreed with is they have recently brought out their new Merlin monthly pass. So they've changed the passes. They've gone from having this is a premium pass, which is what we've got, to changing them to, I think it is silver, gold and a platinum, I think. Not 100% sure on what the names of them are. But I have recently asked about whether we can upgrade this, because the premium pass is between their gold package and their platinum package. So we are willing to go up to a platinum pass, because they've now blocked out some of the days that this is valid for, which and haven't put up charges. That's the other thing we're not happy about, was the up charges. The first year we had this, we didn't have to pay for entry to the fireworks. But last year we was expected to pay £20 per person. So that is something that I just don't know. One year you can, one next year you can't. So £20 per person, that's £80 for us to go to watch the fireworks, when the year before it was free. And I think the year before, the only thing we had to do was pay a £5 pre-book, and that was it. To then jump to, it cost, so £5, it would have cost £20 altogether, whereas last year it would have been £80 altogether, which is a big jump from nothing really to £80. So we did want to upgrade to platinum, because that does include, there's no blackout dates at all for the platinum pass. And I had an email conversation with them asking if we could upgrade from this membership to that one, and I was told no. I was told I had to cancel this membership to then repay a joining fee, which, when you have already joined, I don't think you should have to then rejoin to just change the pass that you're on. At the end of the day, they're going to get more out of me a month anyway, and I've already paid the joining fee, which I think is still the same amount for the new passes for this one. So I don't think I should have to then repay a joining fee to change this membership. So that is one of the only real thing that we weren't very happy about. But other than that, Merlin, and I don't think we'd ever stop doing our Merlin passes. I think that is something we want to continue now, at least until Annie and Jacob are old enough to not come with us at the weekends. So when they start wanting to do their own thing, whether they get jobs, we'll probably look at it differently then. But right now, as a family of 4, going to attractions at the weekends and days out, it does save us a lot of money. So if anybody is wondering whether they should go for the Merlin pass, yes or no, our honest opinion, with everything we've said, and things are expensive there, but there are ways to make it cheaper by taking like your own things. You don't always have to buy things when you're there, and there's no pressure to buy anything when you're there either, because the shops are like a choice. Yes, some of the rides do come out and into a shop, but the main shop at the end of the day is something you go in by choice. So whether you want to buy things, you don't have to. But we have our own little way of doing things when we're at the park. So our park days always start quite early, and we like to get there quite early before the crowds do, to go over on the first monorail. Just to save Jacob's legs more than anything was why we first started doing it, because even though he's a very energetic little boy, when he hits the brick wall and does not want to do something anymore, it is quite hard to get him to then do what he wants to do, what we want him to do after that. So we do use the monorail just to save his little legs getting to and from the car park, which at Alton Towers is quite far. So like I said, we've got a few visits planned in the next coming months, so please look out for our new vlogs regarding those, and it would really help if you liked and subscribed. We'll see you soon.